We're going to go over multiplying with decimals. So now the steps to multiply numbers that have decimals in them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up the problem as usual, okay? So normally we write the numbers on top of each other and then do the multiplication. I also want you to remember that 3 times 2 is 6, as is 2 times 3. So it doesn't matter which order you multiply the numbers by, okay? Remember that part. You're going to do the math as usual, and then once you're done, you're going to add the decimal back into the solution, depending on how many digits after the decimal you had in the problem. So let's go look at some examples of that. So let's use number 1 over here. Okay, we're going to find the product of these two numbers. So we already have them set up to go ahead and do the math. And then we're just going to go ahead and do the math as usual. So we're going to start out with 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm going to put a 2 down, carry the 1. 3 times 7 is 21. Now I'm going to add that 1 and get 22. Carry the 2. Or bring the 2 down. I would carry the 2. There's no other number up here, so it's just going to fall down. And that is, I have done all of timesing by the 3. So now I'm going to cross that number out, put a placeholder below, and continue on. So I'm also going to go ahead and draw lines through these because I don't want to accidentally use those numbers again. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to bring the 4 down, carry the 1. Again, there's nothing here for it to stop at, so I'm going to bring it down. Draw a line, and now I add those numbers. 2 plus 0 gives me 2. 8 plus 2 gives me 10, so 0. Carry the 1. 2 plus 4 gives me 6, plus 1 more is 7, and then just 1. Now, I'm almost finished, but I have 2 digits after a decimal. So there's a decimal here and the decimal here. So here and here, and I have 2 digits, this digit and this digit after my decimal. So now in my answer, I have a decimal here. Because a whole number, there's always a number after a decimal. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 digits after a decimal. So the answer to this is 17.02. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go over to the second problem, and we're going to do it just as we did the first one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is 3 times 8. So 3 times 8 gives us 24. Bring the 4 down, carry the 2. 3 times 8 again, so 3. So I did this one. 3 times 8 again is 24. Plus 2 now, so 24, 25, 26. Bring a 6 down, carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2. So 6, 7, 8. And I have used up all of those numbers. So I'm going to cross this number out. I'm going to cross out up here what I did. Put a place value in. Now I move on to the next number. So this is done. Cross this out because I multiplied all here. Put a place value in, or a placeholder, and then move here. So now this solution starts here. Okay, it cannot start here. It starts here. It starts directly under the number it has. So again, 3 times 8 is 24. So I'll put a 4 down, carry a 2. 3 times 8, again, is 24. Plus 2 is 26, so 6. Carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 8 here, and that is it. So I'm going to just do it in different colors for you. I'm going to cross that one out, cross those numbers out so I don't accidentally reuse them. And now I need to put in 2 place values holders in order to go ahead and do 6 times 8. So 6 times 8. If you are stuck here, okay, if you ever get stuck on doing the multiplication, I want you to go ahead and roll the numbers. And remember what that looks like for here. So I'm going to have 8 here, and I'm going to call this times over here. Okay, so 8 times, so times 1 is 8. If I times it by 2, I end up with 16. If I times it by 3, I end up with 24. So again, I can just write times here, so like times 4, and I can just do, I can add 24, I can take 24 and add 8 and figure out what this number is. Or I can take 16, because I know 8 times 2 is 16, and double that. So if you ever get stuck, you have multiple ways that you can figure it out. So 8 times, so 24, let's go 24 plus 8 will give us 32 times 5. So again, let's take 32, add 8 more. So 8, 9, 10, we're going to have 40 times 6, because that's what we're looking for, and we end up with 40 plus 8 is going to be 48. So back down to here where we're doing our math, we already have the hard math figured out for us to help us solve this, okay? So 6 times 8 is 48. So we're going to go ahead and put an 8 down and carry the 4. Again, 6 times 8, because these are the numbers I'm doing now, is 48, but I have to add the 4. So 48 plus 4. I can just count up 4. So 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. So now I have 52. I will put the 2 down, carry the 5. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 5. So 12 plus 5, so 5, 6, 7 be 17. Carry, or put the 7 down, and you're going to carry the 1 over here. Well, guess what? There's no more numbers up here, so it's just going to fall straight down, and I'll put it right there. Okay, I'm going to switch over to another color just to help us out here. So we used this number already, right? We already used all these. I can just cross those out because I don't want to get confused on my paper. And I have 1, 2, 3 place values that I'm not using. So I have to put in placeholders 2, 3. I've already done those. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 times 8, okay? And that answer, I'm going to start writing right here with my 3 zeros already. So notice how I crossed them out? Once I start again, these all have to turn into zeros down here. Okay, so 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. So now we're just going to add all of our numbers. Okay, as you can see here, I added up all the numbers. So 4, 6 plus 4 gives me 10, put the 0 down, carry the 1. 8 plus 6 plus 8 gives me 22. Add 1, I get 23, put 3 down, carry the 2. 8 plus 2 gives me 10. 8 plus 2 gives me 10, so there's 20. Put a 0, carry 2. 2 plus 8, or 2 plus 7 plus 8 gives me 17. Put the 7 down, carry the 1 over, so 1 plus 2 gives me 4. So this is the answer you have right now. Now remember the last step. Look at how many digits are behind a decimal in the original problem. Okay, so I have this digit here. I have this digit. Well, let me change my color. So I have this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits behind a decimal in my original problem. So I now need to start with this being, pretending this was a whole number here, right? So I would have a decimal here. I now have to put in the decimal back, moving back 4 digits. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here would be my decimal. So the product for this problem would be 47.0304. That is my answer. Okay, now I want you to write out number 3. And I want you to go ahead and work this problem out the exact way that we just did number 1 and 2. Pause the video, and then I want you to check your answer. Here is the solution. So you should have got 10.95. So 10.95. We did 15 times 0.73. So I did 3 times 5, I got 15, and then I did 3 times 1 gave me 3, added 1, I got 4. Cross that out, put my placeholder. 7 times 5 gave me 35, so I put the 5 down, carry the 3. 7 times 1 gave me 7, plus 3 was 10, so I put the 0 down. 1, there was nothing for it to hold on to up here. I didn't have to add. There was no other digits here, so that came straight down. I didn't have to times everything by 0 because I know that's just going to be 0. So at that point, I added up what I had. So I had 5 plus 0 gave me 5, 4 plus 5 gave me 9, 0 plus nothing was 0, and 1 plus nothing was 1. I noticed I had 2 decimal places behind a decimal, so I put it back in. So here is the solution. I also want to point out to you, notice how 15, I times 15 by a number less than 1 because it was 0 point something. If you times a number by 1, you'll get the same number. If you times a number by a number bigger than 1, it'll get bigger, but I times 15 by a number less than 1, therefore my solution is less than 1.